You think decluttering is just about throwing things away. At first glance, many assume that clearing out your space simply means disposing of items you no longer need, as if it were a straightforward, almost mechanical task. In reality, however, decluttering forces you to confront the profound emotional weight embedded in each item, a silent narrative of your life captured in every possession that holds memories and personal history. It is a sometimes painful acknowledgement that no matter how much you might wish to freeze time, it continues its relentless march forward, urging you to accept that every kept object represents both a memory and a fragment of the past you can no longer reclaim. Many will offer the seemingly simple advice, just get rid of what you don't need, donate it, toss it, move on. Yet such counsel oversimplifies the process and disregards the intricate bonds you have formed with these belongings over a lifetime. This perspective, while well-intentioned, is shallow because it fails to appreciate the deep emotional and psychological connections that are intertwined with each object. For every item you consider discarding, there is a story, a moment or a phase of life that it represents, a truth that is not easily dismissed by a call for simplicity. Decluttering later in life is not merely a physical act, it becomes a profound psychological reckoning. It demands that you examine not only your living space but also the very core of your identity. Each object forces you to re-examine your personal history and acknowledge the inevitable changes that time brings. In this ongoing journey, there emerge several brutal truths that are rarely spoken about openly but are essential for anyone attempting to reconcile with a lifetime of accumulated possessions. Every item in your home is much more than a mere object. It is a tangible symbol of your personal history. Each one encapsulates moments, experiences, and aspects of who you are. When you survey your surroundings, what might appear as simple furniture, clothing, or keepsakes actually composes the vivid living story of your existence, a mosaic of choices, challenges, and cherished memories. Accepting that certain chapters of your life have come to a close is one of the most daunting aspects of decluttering. Each object, whether a worn book, a piece of clothing, or an old tool, serves as a marker for a time that has passed. Imagine the countless possessions you have accumulated over decades, each one layered with memories of moments filled with both triumphs and heartaches. The books lining your shelves are not just sources of knowledge. They are relics of a time when you were eager to learn and discover, each page a witness to the evolution of your thoughts and beliefs. The tools in your garage, once symbols of creativity and self-reliance, now serve as poignant reminders of projects and challenges that once defined your sense of purpose and confidence. Even a forgotten suit or dress may be tied to a significant event, a wedding, a promotion, or a celebration that encapsulated a vibrant chapter of your life. Every single object carries an emotional charge, and letting go of it can feel like erasing a part of your personal narrative. The emotional entanglement with these items is precisely why the struggle with decluttering transcends the mere act of deciding what stays and what goes. It is fundamentally about confronting the passage of time itself. Each discarded item is not only a removal of a physical object, but also an admission that a piece of your history is fading away. It forces you to reckon with the reality that life in all its beauty and pain is transient. Even as you strive to keep the memories alive, you must accept that the physical manifestations of those memories, your belongings, are not what define you. Your true identity, your value, and the wisdom you have acquired over the years reside within you, not in the objects that once symbolized your past. Letting go of possessions is an emotional battle that often comes with a heavy burden of guilt. Every item you consider discarding carries with it a unique story, some filled with joy, others with pain, but all are significant in their own right. Holding an old gift, reading a faded letter, or touching a treasured heirloom reconnects you to the people, promises, and relationships that have shaped your life. The very thought of discarding such an object can feel like a betrayal, as if letting it go means erasing the memory or diminishing the significance of the person associated with it. This deep emotional conflict is why the process of decluttering, especially in later years, is fraught with difficulty and resistance. There is an inherent fear that by removing something from your space, you are erasing a piece of your history. Consider a gift from a deceased loved one, a single item that stands as a tangible reminder that someone cared for you, that their presence was real and significant. Or think of a collection of birthday cards, each one a testament to the times you were celebrated and cherished by those around you. Letting go of these items can feel like a slow, painful process of forgetting, a process that threatens to undermine the very fabric of your past. Yet, it is important to understand that keeping an object does not magically preserve the past. Objects cannot bring people back, nor can they capture the full, fleeting essence of a moment that has passed. Guilt can also manifest as a belief that discarding something is wasteful or disrespectful. You might gaze at an expensive coat you never wore and feel a pang of remorse for not having used it. Or you may have been raised with the conviction that every item has inherent value. This upbringing can make it difficult to see that holding on to something solely out of guilt does not actually honor its worth. It only amplifies the emotional and physical burden. The fear of regret, the nagging worry of what if I need this someday, can be paralyzing, making the act of letting go seem impossible. In truth, the vast majority of items held on to out of fear or sentiment rarely serve a practical purpose in the future. Even if a need should arise, there are usually ways to replace or adapt without being anchored to that particular object. The key is to recognize that memories, love, and respect live within you and are not diminished by releasing physical reminders. One of the most heart-wrenching realizations that come with decluttering is that the cherished items you saved in the hope of passing them on to your children or grandchildren may not be valued as you had imagined. You might have accumulated heirlooms, furniture, books, or collectibles with the belief that they would one day enrich the lives of the next generation. However, when the time comes, you may encounter indifference or even outright rejection. This reaction can feel like a personal slight, but it is important to understand that it is not a measure of your worth or the significance of your memories. Times change, tastes, lifestyles, and values evolve. Younger generations often gravitate toward minimalism and functionality, preferring a lifestyle free of clutter. What was once an indispensable family heirloom may now seem outdated or impractical, and the sentimental value you attach to it might not resonate with them in the same way. In this shifting landscape, the true inheritance you leave behind is not in material objects but in the lessons you have imparted, the love you have shared, and the wisdom you have cultivated throughout your life. Instead of clinging to possessions out of the hope that they will eventually be treasured, consider having open, honest conversations with your family. Ask them what truly matters to them, not in terms of physical objects, but in terms of memories and connections. Often you will discover that what they value most are not grand, elaborate items but the simple, heartfelt tokens of love, a handwritten letter, a cherished recipe, or a story about your family's history. These are the things that hold genuine significance and cannot be replaced by any object, no matter how valuable it may seem. Retaining possessions solely out of guilt or fear of future regret only serves to add to your burden. When you release the expectation that every item must be preserved for posterity, you free yourself to focus on what is truly important, nurturing your relationships, taking care of your well-being, and forging a legacy defined not by the accumulation of things, but by the quality of your life and the impact you have on others. Your worth is measured not by your belongings but by the positive influence you have on those around you. As you continue to accumulate more over the years, what once provided a sense of comfort can quickly become a cumbersome obstacle, both physically and emotionally. Clutter invades your space and your mind alike. Every drawer filled with old papers, every closet crammed with unused clothes, and every shelf stacked with forgotten trinkets adds to an invisible burden that clouds your thoughts and saps your energy. Over time, the weight of accumulated items breeds stress, exhaustion, and a persistent feeling of being trapped, not only in your living space but within the confines of your own memories and regrets. A cluttered home can make even the simplest daily tasks feel overwhelmingly complicated. Looking for an important document turns into a frustrating expedition through piles of disorganized papers. Navigating crowded hallways requires you to carefully dodge items that no longer serve a purpose. Even routine cleaning becomes a never-ending chore, as every surface is buried under layers of objects that demand attention. Over time, spaces that once offered comfort and sanctuary can transform into sources of constant overwhelm. Furthermore, as physical limitations grow with age, maneuvering through cluttered spaces becomes increasingly difficult and even hazardous. Items that were once seen as sentimental treasures may slowly turn into risks. Piles of books become tripping hazards. Stacks of old newspapers gather dust and trigger allergies, and the very layout of your home may contribute to a sense of confinement and vulnerability. The psychological toll of living amid such clutter is as significant as the physical burden. Each object forces you to confront a decision: should it remain or should it be let go? This relentless need to decide can lead to decision fatigue, a state in which the mind feels overwhelmed by too many choices and struggles to focus. Research has shown that a cluttered environment can increase anxiety, reduce concentration, and even contribute to feelings of depression. The brain, which craves order and simplicity, finds it increasingly difficult to settle into a state of calm when surrounded by an excess of items. By letting go of unnecessary belongings, you not only clear physical space, but also reclaim mental clarity and emotional well-being. The common belief that accumulating more things provides security is nothing more than an illusion. True security stems from the freedom to move unencumbered, to live without the constant weight of unnecessary possessions, and to focus on what genuinely matters in life. Decluttering, therefore, should not be seen as a loss, but rather as a vital process of creating an environment that supports your overall well-being. A home with fewer items is easier to navigate, quicker to clean, and imbued with a sense of lightness that reflects in every aspect of daily living. Although many view decluttering as a one-time project to be tackled only when energy permits, it is in fact an ongoing process, one that requires continuous attention, deliberate choices, and a willingness to adapt to new habits. Without addressing the underlying behaviors that lead to accumulation, even the most thorough decluttering efforts will eventually be undone. It is essential to be intentional about what you allow into your life, questioning the value of each new acquisition before it finds a place in your home. This also means setting boundaries with yourself, and sometimes with others, who might unknowingly contribute to the buildup of unwanted items. Accepting that decluttering is a long-term, evolving practice can help you approach it with patience and intentionality, rather than feeling rushed or overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task. The emotional energy required to sort through a lifetime of belongings can be immense. Each decision to keep or discard forces you to confront memories, revisit past decisions, and at times grapple with regrets. This process can be mentally exhausting, leading many to postpone or avoid decluttering altogether. However, integrating the practice of regular mindful decluttering into your routine can prevent the overwhelming buildup of clutter and help maintain both physical and mental space. By viewing decluttering as an ongoing way of living, one that involves continuously reassessing what truly matters, you empower yourself to create a living space that supports the life you wish to lead. In the end, even after a significant decluttering effort, you will always face decisions about your space. There is no final perfect moment when everything is permanently resolved. Instead, decluttering becomes a daily, deliberate practice, an ongoing series of choices that shapes your environment and reflects the evolution of your life. Embracing this process means accepting that true freedom and clarity arise not from a one-time purge, but from the consistent, mindful decisions you make day by day.